Although the internet provides all sorts of benefits, it can also be a very scary place. From websites that curse their users to AI-generated supernatural entities, here are your top 10 horrifying internet urban legends you shouldn't Google alone, part 2. Coming in at a number 10 spot, we have Loab. We knew artificial intelligence was terrifying, but did you think it was gonna have a hint of the paranormal as well? Because according to a recent viral Twitter thread, it may be. Introducing Loab, an AI-generated woman who has captured the attention of the internet and left many wondering about the mysteries of AI art. In more recent months, AI-generated art has skyrocketed in popularity thanks to tools like DALL-E Mini, Midjourney, and Stable Diffusion. These programs allows users to enter a short phrase which the AI interprets to create an image. However, this has created an ethical and copyright dilemma as the AI generates new images based on a vast amount of real art created by human beings. But the AI is not just reworking old images, but rather creating new ones based on computational and mathematical processes. Now back to Loab. This terrifying looking girl is a combination of human features in the form of an older woman generated by an artificial intelligence art tool. Twitter user Supercomposite created Loab using a negative prompt, telling the AI to create something that is the opposite of the prompt. Supercomposite then used that as a negative prompt, and the AI generated images of a long-haired older woman with rosy cheeks, which they named Loab. Supercomposite notes that Loab, quote, haunts every images she touches and can latch onto the idea of Loab, the word itself. At a number 9 spot, we have The Girl in the Photograph. The Girl in the Photograph is a creepy story that revolves around a mysterious girl who appears in a cursed photograph. According to the legend, anyone who views the photograph becomes instantly and obsessively in love with this girl because of her exceptional beauty. The story follows a teenage boy named Tom who finds a photograph outside of his school featuring the girl holding up her fingers in a peace sign. Tom falls in love with the girl and sets out to find her, but no one seems to have ever heard of her. Despite his efforts to find her, Tom becomes increasingly depressed and devastated, and as the days go by, he begins to hear strange noises and see shadows outside of his window. However, after being awakened by tapping and giggling twice, he decides to take action and follow the sound outside with the photograph in hand. And tragically, Tom runs into the street and is struck by a truck. The legend suggests that the girl in the photograph has the power to manipulate people by using her beauty as a tool to brainwash victims into trying to find her. Additionally, the girl in the photograph changes stances as she racks up her victim count, and in the photos you can see this with the girl holding up another one of her fingers up instead of just the original peace sign. At a number 8 spot, we have Annie Petrova. Annie Petrova was a talented ice skater from a young age, being trained by the famous Sergei Pulukev for the Olympics. Before her Crystal Classic Championship, Annie decided to Google her name and was shocked to find a Wikipedia page that predicted that she would win the competition. As a result, she started regularly checking her Wikipedia page before every single competition and found that it predicted her wins for every single one of them. However, when Annie decided to influence her Wikipedia page by editing the information to say that she won the Olympics, her life took a nasty turn. Her career went downhill and she lost her parents as a result. The Wikipedia page was edited to say horrible things about her as well, including calling her a selfish little bee who deserved what she got. During the Olympic tryouts, Annie was blamed for a blade coming off her rival's skates and hitting her head, leaving her bleeding. Annie was disturbed and complained to Wikipedia as a result, but they could not find her page after an investigation. At a number 7 spot, we have the 8 feet tall girl. Miss 8 feet tall, also known as Hashakusama, is a Japanese spirit or yokai that is said to take the form of a towering female specter, standing at least 8 feet tall. She's often described as having long black hair and wearing a white dress and a white hat. Her haunting voice is very unique, characterized by the repeated interjection po in a deep masculine or high feminine tone. She's inhumane in terms of her height and can vary from being an attractive woman to a withered hag. Despite her varying appearance, most eyewitnesses claim that she wears a white summer dress and a wide-brimmed hat. She appears to be very similar to other Japanese demons, particularly onryō or female ghosts, who often sought revenge on the living or grew malicious after their deaths. At our number 6 spot, we have Mr. Widemouth. Mr. Widemouth is an infamous online character that has been terrifying readers for years with his manipulative ways and his disturbing appearance. The story of Mr. Widemouth follows a young child who is bedridden due to an illness and then then encounters a creature while stuck at the home. At first, the child is excited to have a new friend, but as time goes on, they begin to realize that Mr. Widemouth is not what he seems. Mr. Widemouth is a small furry creature with a large mouth and eyes that seem to pierce into your soul. Despite his cute appearance, Mr. Widemouth is far from friendly. He has a talent for manipulating children into doing things that are harmful to themselves, and many young kids have reportedly lost their lives due to his sinister influence. This makes Mr. Widemouth all the more terrifying. He preys on the most innocent and vulnerable members of society. He hides under the bed and urges the child to jump out of a second-story window, claiming that a trampoline is waiting below. When the child refuses, Mr. Widemouth becomes increasingly angry and sulks under the bed for hours. He even tries to teach a child how to juggle with knives, and when that fails, he becomes even more upset. What makes Mr. Widemouth truly terrifying is his manipulative nature. He uses his cuteness and charm to lull children into a false sense of security, only to turn on them when they least expect it. In the hump of our list, we have the Blind Maiden. Would you be brave enough to visit the Blind Maiden website at midnight? Because those who visit the site at this hour may catch a glimpse of someone approaching their home on their monitor. This Spanish urban legend tells a chilling tale of a demon that haunts the internet, offering users the chance to experience a real horror themselves. Upon entering the website, users are met with a rapid montage of gruesome images, then a foreboding message appears on screen, warning users of the imminent danger they are about to face. From here, they must either accept or decline the invitation to engage in the experience of absolute horror. Those who accept will witness a sinister silhouette approaching their home on their monitor. They must turn away within 5 seconds or face the gaze of the Blind Maiden, who will rip out their eyes and take a snapshot of their face to add to her macabre gallery on the website. Those who decline, however, are rewarded with their deepest desire. But at what cost? And although there is no solid evidence to prove that the website ever existed, the amount of accounts from people all over the web make me think that there's no doubt that this website definitely existed before. At number 4 spot, we have a Hippo eats Dwarf. Have you heard of the tale of the Hippo eats Dwarf? This bizarre urban legend has been circulating since the mid-1990s and has been managed to trick some print newspapers into publishing it as a fact. But what is the story behind this outrageous claim? According to the legend, a freak accident occurred during a circus act involving a dwarf bouncing on a trampoline. At the same time, a hippopotamus began to yawn and the dwarf landed into the hippo's open mouth, resulting in the poor dwarf being swallowed whole. The audience initially applauded, thinking it was all part of the show, before the horrifying truth set in. But where did this story even come from? It was first reported in the National Lampoon magazine in 1988, supposedly sourced from the Las Vegas Sun, claiming that the dwarf was consumed in front of an audience of 7,000 people. However, it wasn't until 1994 when the story started circulating on the internet through a Usenet post. And although many claim that this is a hoax, this is definitely worth noting since it's one of the most original internet urban legends on this list. Number 3, Cyber Stalker. The Cyber Stalker legend of Colby is a cautionary tale about the dangers of sharing personal information online. The story revolves around a 10-year-old boy named Colby who made a friend on an online children's game. Colby's online friend wanted to send him a birthday present and asked for his address. And despite his parents' warnings, Colby gave out his address and immediately regretted it. Because later that night, Colby's guilt compelled him to confess to his parents what he had done. His mother scolded him, saying that he should never give his personal information online. She then proceeded to tell Colby a horrifying story about a man who pretended to be a kid and befriend a family online. As Colby tried to escape, the man caught him and ended his life as well. Number 2, the Momo challenge. The Momo challenge is a prime example of how a seemingly random combination of elements can lead to a massive panic driven by social media. Momo is a creepy looking bird woman who sends a series of increasingly dangerous tasks to complete if you text a number on WhatsApp. The challenge starts off innocently enough, but ultimately encourages self-harm and eventually taking your own life. Failure to complete a task leads to threats of violence and doxing. And for those who don't know doxing, basically your internet just doesn't work anymore. The Momo challenge originated in a Facebook group but gained worldwide notoriety when YouTuber Rainbot made a video about it. Warnings about the challenge spread quickly, with the police service of Northern Ireland urging parents to monitor their children's activity on WhatsApp. While the Momo challenge is an urban legend, it does have roots in reality. Overall, the challenge preyed on parental fears and social anxiety about what children were doing online while unsupervised, and much of the reason why we got in trouble for using the internet in the first place. At a number 1 spot, we are the Song and Dance Man. If you ever heard of someone named the Song and Dance Man, you would think that they're a nice person who likes to entertain. However, as the story goes, there was something very sinister about this man that made him more than just an ordinary entertainer. The story is told by a man named George who claims to have encountered the Song and Dance Man and his horrors. According to George, this man was tall and gangly with long 6-fingered hands. He would ride into town wearing a red and white pinstrip jacket and a straw hat on his head. The townspeople were immediately fascinated by him and his skills, but little did they know what horrors awaited them. The Song and Dance Man would entice members of the town to come into his tent for free to sing and dance. However, as soon as he started playing his fiddle, the people were not allowed to stop dancing. They would dance for hours on end, unable to control their bodies, until they started dropping down one by one. Those who fell were then stepped on and crushed by the other individuals who had no control over their own movements. Eventually, the Song and Dance Man stopped playing and let the survivors go. The incident left the town in shock and horror, with many wondering what had happened to them and whether they could ever recover from this trauma. Well, these are the top 10 horrifying internet urban legends you shouldn't Google alone, part 2. What do you guys think about this list? Leave a comment down below with your thoughts and some suggestions for some future videos. But be sure to like, subscribe, and hit that bell notification so you never miss a future video again. I'm your host Andrew, and I hope you guys have a scary day.